Hey everyone, and welcome to the club. Today I'll be showing you how to draw Draw Sin Cara from the WWE. So we're going to start with the eyes. We're going to start with the outer frame of the eye. Starting from the left side on the top, we're going to curve in, and then we're going to pull this down towards the center of the mask. From here we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to curve back around the bottom edge, and then just pull it down to that point there. Starting at the top, we're going to curve out, we're going to pull this in, and then we're going to come down to a point. So it's almost like a leaf shape. Let's do the same thing on the right side. We're going to flip this over, leaving a gap in the middle. Start at the bottom, and curve up and out towards the right, and then we're going to curve up the end, pulling that up. We're going to go back to the bottom, and then again we're going to pull it upwards first. Then we're going to round out, and we're going to make our way back up to the top, curving out and then up. Let's trim this out on the inside. We're just going to basically follow this curve all the way around, starting on the inside. Curving down, and then we're going to go back up to the top and come around the opposite direction. Curving around. Let's do the same thing on the right side, starting from the inside this time. Curving up. Now we're going to work our way downwards, trying to keep that space and that gap the same all the way around the mask. Okay, so we got the eyes. Let's draw in the sides of the face down to the chin. So the chin I'm going to draw pretty small, just down to here. So beside the left eye, right here, I'm going to curve out, and then I'm going to pull that in towards the chin. We're going to make our way back up towards the right side. Curving up, and trying to get it to the same height as we have on the left. From here we're going to curve up the sides of the mask to the flares. So these points curve up and really high above the top of the head. So from this point I'm going to curve it quite high up here. Curving up and right up to the top. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. So lining up the top, curve down, and then blend in with the side of the head. From this point we want to do that little curve that comes down the center of the mask. So from here I'm going to curve in, and then I'm going to curve back in towards the center and then downwards. Starting up here, curve down, now we're going to pull it in and then come down. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. So going out, going in, and then pulling it down. Now from here, these 2 points curve down towards the center here. So I'm going to take this point on the left, just kind of round it out towards the center. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. So we're going to go upwards towards the right. And we're going to go ahead and just trim this out, just like we did with the eyes. Starting from the top, we're just going to follow that curve evenly, all the way to the bottom in the middle. That. Back up on the right, and then just do that wave all the way up to the top of that point. From here we're going to draw in the top of the head. So the top of the head is just going to come just below those points. So from left to right, I'm just draw a curve going across. Let's go ahead and draw in the mouth area. So just down here, we're going to draw in the center point. So just draw a little point like that. This point we're going to curve just underneath the eyes on both sides. So going over towards the right. Now we're going to go over towards the left, just underneath the eye on both sides. And then from these points we're going to curve down towards the chin, curving that down on both sides. And then again we're going to trim this out on the inside. Starting from the bottom, we're going to curve up, curve along the top towards the middle, and then we'll go back up on the right side. And then back down towards the chin. Let's start adding some of that detail. So he's got these little strips that go across the mouth area. So we're going to start with the one in the middle. We'll do a short line going across. Now from the ends, we just kind of want to flare it out so it gets a little bit wider towards the chin. And we'll close that off with a straight line. We're going to continue along the side here. So just leaving a gap, we're going to draw a little short line again and go out with a straight line towards the left. And then we'll go out even wider so it starts to flare out even more. We're going to close that gap with a straight line, and we'll do one more up here. Just going to angle that line, going along the bottom, going along the top, and just closing that off. We're going to repeat that on the right side. Starting with the inside first, we'll come down, go across the top with a short line, going out, flaring it out, and then just closing off the bottom. We'll do one more up here. So going up, going across the bottom, up along the side, and then just closing that off. Let's go ahead and draw in that crest on the head. So we're going to start at the top. So just below the top of the head, we're going to come down just a little bit, a little point. From that point, we're going to curve out towards the left, then out towards the right at the same height. Now these 2 points are going to curve down to right about here. We're going to leave a gap in the middle, just like that. And then we're going to go out almost doing a diamond shape. So 2 angled lines going out, and then we're going to pull that back in towards the middle. Along the bottom inside here, we're going to draw a circle. And then at the top, we're just going to draw a little diamond shape, like that. Now we're going to add these little details along the top here. So there's 3 on either side. We're going to start with the one on the inside first. Drawing an angled line, going across the top, and now we're going to taper it so it gets a little bit narrower as you come in and close off that gap. Let's do the same one on the right side. So coming down on an angle, going out, tapering in, then closing that off. We're going to draw one right beside it. So starting with the line at the top, come down in an angle, go across the bottom, and then we'll just close that off at the top. We'll do one over here, drawing that angled line, coming down, across the bottom, and then tapering out. We'll draw one more on either side. So in between these 2, draw a line, coming down on both sides, tapering, and close that off. Up on the right, we'll do the same thing. Okay, so we got the head. Let's get into the body. So with all my chibis, I draw the head and the body about the same height. So I use my opposite hand to measure out the head, come down to the body, down to the feet. Halfway between the chin and the feet is where my waist will be. So what I want to do is I want to pose him with his hands like this. So I'm going to start with the hands first. So in the middle, I'm going to split the hands in half. So one hand on this side, one on the other. We're going to start just above the waistline. We're going to go in towards the middle, and then we're going to pull this back. This is for the first finger. We're going to go to the top of that finger, go up, and pull that back. So we're layering in the fingers and behind each other. At the top of this finger, we're going to go up, and then just pull this down. Let's do the same thing on the right side. So we're going to start at the bottom. We want to make sure that the fingers touch in the middle, and then we pull that back. Go to the top of this finger, go up, and pull that back. Go up to the top of this finger, go up, and then pull that back. Let's go ahead and draw on the bottoms of the arms. So the forearms are going to come across this way to the elbow and then up towards the shoulder. So just on the left side here, we're going to curve across. Do the same thing on the right side. Just making sure that the arms are roughly the same length. From the elbow, we're going to tuck this in underneath the head. So from here, I'm just going to round out the shoulders. Do that on both sides. Like that. Now we're going to go ahead and draw the tops of the arm. So from the edge of the hand, we're going to go up and just curve across. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So stepping up from the bottom of that arm, we're going to curve across. Now here is where I want to layer in the sides of the body. So just beside the hand on the left, we're going to curve up. Over here, we're going to curve up. We're going to draw a little bit of a band at the top of the arms. So right here, draw a curve. On the right side, we'll do the same thing. Now we're going to draw in the wrist area. So we're just going to extend this line from that hand all the way down to the bottom of the forearms on both sides. Now we're going to draw that separation line up here. So from that elbow, we're going to curve out. Curve out on both sides. Now we're going to trim this out. So from the top here, from the elbow area, we're just going to follow that curve down towards the bottom of the arm, go across, and we're going to pull that up to the top of the forearm. Let's do the same thing on the right. So starting in here, we'll curve down, curving across, and then all the way up to the top of the forearm. Now he's got this little detail in the wristband, so we're just going to simplify this. Up here, we're going to curve down, go across with a straight line. We're just basically going to draw almost like an arrow. Go down this way, go up, and then from that point, we just want to curve it all the way up to the top point. We'll do the same thing over here. So starting on the inside, curving down, going across, come down with an angled line. Now we're going to go up the side. Now from here, we just want to curve to the inside of that elbow, just like that. Let's go ahead and extend the body down. So the hips are going to come down to here. So we're taking this line on the side of the body. We're going to continue this down just below the hands on both sides, curving down. We're going to connect those 2 points with a curve. We'll go across like this. We want to draw a little bit of a belt line here. So just above here, we're going to draw that same line, same curve, going across the top. Let's go down towards the legs. Down in the middle here, we're going to draw a curve, right in the middle. Going up in the middle like that, just for the lower torso. Now we're going to start with the inside part of the leg. So on the left side, we're going to step over towards the right, just draw a curve going down towards the heel. We'll do the same thing on the right side. Now we're going to draw in the bottom of the feet. So from the heel to the toe, we're going to draw a curve going all the way across. Do the same thing on the right side, making sure they're roughly the same length. From the toe, we're going to curve the top of the foot. So we're aiming towards the heel, but we're going to stop right about there. We'll do the same thing on the right side. So we're leaving a same gap going over towards the toe. Now from the hips, we just want to curve the legs down towards the top of the feet. So from this left side, we'll come down to the top of that foot. On the right, we'll curve down to that foot. Let's draw on the top of the boots. So just along this leg, draw a curve like that. On the right, we'll do the same thing. At the bottom of the feet, I just want to thicken up the sole. So we're going to take this line and just duplicate it right above. Just like that. And then we're going to add some laces. So at the top of the boot here, right beside this leg, draw one straight line coming down, and then beside it, we'll draw one more. Now we're going to come along the top of the foot. So from here, I'm going to curve across, leaving a gap at the bottom, and we'll go straight across the bottom there. We're going to add some laces. So we're just going to intersect two curves going across that way, and then two curves going across the toe. Let's do the same thing on this side. So left of that line on the side of the leg will come down. We'll draw another line beside it. From that point, we're going to curve across the toe towards the bottom, and then close it off there. We'll draw the laces. So just overlapping two curves, and then in the opposite direction we'll curve across the toe. Let's add the pant detail for the finish. We're going to start at the top of the waistline here. We're going to start on the left side, curving down towards the middle, lower torso. We're going to curve up towards the belt on the right side. Now from these points, we're going to curve down to the sides of the legs, on both sides like that. From here, let's go ahead and draw in the inner part. So from the inside of the leg, we're going to curve out towards the left and the right. We're going to curve down. Curving down on both sides. We're going to curve back out again, so it tapers out. Now we're going to curve in the opposite direction to the top of the boot. Curving down like that. Now we're going to curve out towards the side of the leg on both sides. And then in here, we just want to draw almost like a half circle to finish that off. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Chibi Sin Cara from the WWE. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you check out our Chibi playlist. We have a ton of characters in there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.